Hello, and welcome to another episode of Todd Plays Kerbal Space Program. This is part 2 of my experimenting with the beamed power parts available in the Interstellar mod. And this is a much more sophisticated craft than what I had launched before. This is attempting to not have all the reception dishes bump into each other. So you can see as I'm deploying the receivers here that they're spread out a little bit more. So they look better and they don't push off against each other, which does cause the craft to jiggle a bit. You can also see that it's a little bit bigger. It's a completely redesigned vessel. And if you pay especially close attention during the parts where you can see the map of the solar system, you'll notice there is a lot more stuff in orbit now than what I had before. In between the last video and this one, I launched a lot of power transmitting nuclear space stations into orbit in a desperate attempt to have all quadrants of the Kerbal solar system sky covered by beam transmitters. And if you look right there, you can see that most of those stations still manage to be on the wrong side of the planet. Despite my launching a whole bunch of them, I didn't time the launch very well, and I didn't time the stations themselves very well. I didn't get them very well spread apart. So at this point, I'm accelerating out of Kerbin's sphere of influence, out of Kerbin's orbit, with only one station, maybe, or two, that I'm receiving power from, which makes the burn kind of low thrust and take a long time. So I toggle propellants, taking me out of the quantum vacuum mode, which is apparently infinite amounts of fuel as long as you have enough energy, and I switch to xenon mode. Xenon mode still uses a lot of energy, but because it does actually use some fuel, you're basically taking xenon and putting energy into the xenon gases by means of breaking apart their positrons so that they're negatively charged or something, and attracting them. I don't know. I am not smart. I'm just trying to play a video game. The point is, you use a little bit of xenon fuel, and then you get more thrust with less energy. That's what's important for me playing Kerbal Space Program here. But, of course, xenon fuel is limited, and I didn't want to run out of it. So, that's what I did to get out of the atmosphere, was used a little bit of my xenon, saved a lot of it. If you're familiar with Kerbal Space Program, though, looking at this map, you're probably thinking, what planet is Todd going to? That planet doesn't exist in the vanilla game. Well, this is another mod. This is the Planet Factory mod that I found on, I think it's Curse, whatever Kerbal Space Program officially endorses for mods, now that they no longer have the old spaceport that they used to. And so this planet Abaddon is, it's way super duper far away. And it's not a planet, actually, it's a star that has a whole bunch of planets around it, and around those planets, some of them have moons. So it's really a whole solar system, but it's way past Elu and Jewel. It's super duper far away. And so what this means, unfortunately, is that it's incredibly difficult to get to. And I was hoping that the beamed power in Interstellar mod would give me the technological edge I needed to reach this faraway solar system. But beamed power is not going to work. Beamed power doesn't transmit that far. I don't have enough energy. I'm not receiving enough energy once I get there to slow down. So my trip to Abaddon basically failed. Beam power just doesn't work at that range. Although here is a preview of hopefully what my next video is going to be. This is a space station with an antimatter collector. So Interstellar mod, antimatter, maybe that'll get me to Abaddon.